Hey, welcome to another Shields vlog. Thanks for joining me. Today, I was actually going to end up, me and a friend were actually going to go up to Middle Earth, so we'll have to do that some other time because I think I might have, he probably came by and I missed it because I was actually washing my water bottles. Now, I am actually not sure what I'm going to do. I'm going to probably see if I can get a tour of the Majestic. Yeah, I know I worked in, I haven't done that yet. And then probably a Valley of Floor tour either for tomorrow or next weekend. So whatever I'm going to be doing, I'm going to bring you guys along. But I'm actually coming up to the spot right now. So the other day, when I was walking back from work, so there's actually a mama bear and her baby. And then someone from the bear team ended up stopping me, saying I can't go further. So I ended up walking down to them, not the bears, I would be so stupid, to that person. And then she ended up she was trying to take photos and stuff, but she said she didn't really take that great ones. I only saw like a little white thing because the mama bear had a collar on it. And then after watching or just seeing that really quick, since the baby cub actually ended up making a really weird noise. It sounded like a person screaming, kind of. It sounded really weird. I did not expect it to sound like that. So this is it right here. So this is the tree. We were looking at it by. And then the bear was just over there. Well, time to try to figure out what I'm going to do for the day. I ended up getting my ticket for the Valley Floor tour, and guess how much it was? $0. I'm surprised about that. I thought I had to pay for that, but I'm so glad I got that for free. And then it's like 12 right now, and I'm just waiting for the Majestic Hotel tour. I want to take that so I can learn more about the hotel, and plus it's something to do. Okay, well, I just came back from lunch. I actually had lunch in the dining hall. I had Sir Alfredo. Sir Alfredo is absolutely amazing. All the ingredients in it, the tomatoes, the broccoli, some spinach I think was in it. It all blended in really good to make such a perfect dish. It tasted so good. Definitely one of the best Alfredos I've had. So I'm just actually killing time right now since it's only, what time is it? 1:10 and the tour doesn't start till 2. So just walking around, going into the treasure room right now. It's really nice in here. I like it. I think you actually can go on the balcony. I'm gonna check that. Yep, you can. You get a pretty nice view from up here too. Some squirrel and a bird. And these things are pretty huge. Just for size comparison. And to give you an idea, I'm 5'10". Well, Not exactly sure where in the 5'10" range I am in, but I am 5'10". Unless if I grew last time I checked, but I don't think I have. So I'm gonna probably just walk around more, wait for the tour. Not sure what else I'm gonna do. Oh yeah, before I leave the room, this actually kind of reminds me of what Donald Trump ended up sitting down at, saying you're fired to those people. I forget what shows that is. It's been such a long time since I've seen that.
I don't know that much about the hotel to speak for 8 hours. Today we'll be mostly walking and standing. We will be in the sun. We will eventually make our way inside where there is limited seating. We'll start here in the back lawn. We'll make our way over to the most beautiful section of the hotel, over in the parking lot. And then we'll eventually come back here in the back lawn. Mather went on his own national park tour, looking for designs. He found two that he liked, one in Zion and one in Bryce. Both designed by the same architect, Gilbert Stanley Underwood. Gilbert Stanley Underwood. You will be hard-pressed to find a photo of Gilbert Stanley Underwood without a smirk or smug grin on his face. But he was popular for a style of architecture known as rustic architecture. We call it parkitecture here in Yosemite. This style of architecture tries to imitate the surrounding areas, using resources from the surrounding area, so the building sort of blends into the environment. Before giving the thumbs up for the hotel, he was given a test run actually with the U.S. Post Office here in the park. They liked what they saw, and Gilbert Stanley Underwood was actually given rights to the hotel. I brought you over here to talk a little bit about some site history. If you imagine yourself here about 200 years ago, we would not have a hotel where it stands. Instead, you would see a village called Wiskala, inhabited by Yosemite Valley's first people, the Awhahnee. Awhahnee is a combination of two words, Awhahnee and Nietzsche. Nietzsche translating to people of, and Awhahnee has two translations. The lesser accepted translation is long grassy valley. The more accepted translation is place like a gaping mouth. So people of the place like a gaping mouth. So perhaps if you were up at Glacier Point or another high spot on the valley walls looking down, you may see Yosemite Valley as a sort of large mouth opening up towards the sky. Archaeological evidence suggests they've been living here in the park perimeters as long as 10,000 years ago, and here in Yosemite Valley as long as 4,000 years ago. They are primarily hunter-gatherers, hunting for deer, foraging for wild vegetables, fishing, but they were also landscape managers, annually and semi-annually setting fires to the meadows to promote the growth of this tree right in front of me here. Does anyone know the name of this tree? Oak. It is an oak. It's called a California black oak. And by burning the meadows, you would burn away a lot of these young sapling trees that compete with these larger trees. And this tree was important because it produced acorns that are very calorie and nutrient dense. They're not edible straight off the back. You do need to process them, and so you could put them in these mortar holes actually here. These are called pounding stones. And this is actually the second hardest granite in the world that we have here in Yosemite National Park. The first hardest granite you can find in Georgia. We put the acorns in these mortars, leach them of tannins, break them up, creating a sort of acorn flour that you could then use to make a sort of flatbread or acorn meal. However, the Awhanee's history would be destined to change come 1848 when something was discovered here in California, gold. And upon the discovery of gold here in California, we saw a massive expansion west, mostly by Euro-Americans, eventually making their way into Yosemite Valley as well. The Awhanee's were forcibly removed from their homes. They came back to Yosemite Valley. They were forcibly removed more than once. They came back more than once, and they're still here today. They work with and for the National Park Service today. And if you'd like to learn more about their culture or history, you can go to the Indian Cultural Museum, where we actually have some cultural demonstrators here today that can teach you more. The proposed time of completion was about 5 to 6 months. And the proposed budget was about $500,000. If you've ever worked in construction or had any parts of your home renovated, this might be a bit optimistic. Instead, the hotel was completed in 11 months with a budget of about $1.2 million and was finished on July 14th, 1927. Not bad, considering most of the is that today?
No, it's July 13th.
13th.
Tomorrow,
Oh, tomorrow's gonna be a great
that.
tour then.
Tomorrow,
Oh wow. So this isn't a bad time frame, still considering that the hotel was built in the 20s. Most of the construction was done during the winter months. And because we are in a national park, all the resources had to be brought from outside of the park. And the building had to be fireproof. And so when you look at this hotel now, what do you think it's made of? Rock, granite, concrete. So here's those granite stones that I was speaking about over in the parking lot. We see larger granite boulders down near the base and smaller granite boulders up near the top. This is part of that rustic architecture that actually mimics those granite talus fields in the back of the hotel. You can just barely see them through the trees. The roof is all slate. The internal framing is all steel. And how about these wooden boards lining the sides of the hotel? It is concrete. It's concrete poured into sugar pine molds and then stained with acid. The color is supposed to mimic the giant sequoia bark, but I think it looks a bit closer to this ponderosa pine right behind us.
Okay, so tour just got done and some memory card is low on space, so I'm going to try to do this really quick. I tried to film all of, well, as much as I could, but like I said, the memory card was pretty low. So what I learned that, can't go out that way, but I was going to show you, you know how the front of the hotel looks better since the actual front? So this was actually going to be the front of the hotel. And since that was actually going to be the back, but they changed it because a car ended up coming along an old road that used to be here and then spewing smoke up to the first and second floors. So that's why they changed it, and they had to change it in like, I think they said like 10 days before the opening of the hotel. And then actually the big hotel drapery, well, carpet is actually a couple $1 million. Doing that, didn't know that. That was cool. Okay, like I was saying, this room right here, the actual architecture, architect, he actually wanted to have like deer heads and animal heads up all over the place, but because I was running the national parks, didn't want that since they would promote hunting in a national park and that's illegal. And then the candy shop, the sweet shop in the 1920s actually was a soda shop since they couldn't have beer in the 1920s. And since the ladies that actually designed the stencils up on the walls, speaking of which, in that room, the big one I just showed you, it's actually designed to capture attention and make you look up, and it's actually in the middle of restoring it right now. It's going to take like 3 or 4 years. And well, anyways, the lady that designed that, she's actually going to, she did stay in the hotel for like 10 years, actually no, 30 years. And the hotel said that was fine as long as she kept working with him, which she did. And yeah, I'm going to close this out now, and wish I could show you guys the night tour, but thanks for joining me on another Shields vlog.